Sure, most of you have one or two of these laying around. These are paper punches, and this happens to be a flower punch in two different sizes. But I have all sorts of paper punches, and I'm always looking for ways to get more mileage out of them. So what I'm going to do is use some punch pieces that I punched from just some scraps of yellow paper to help build this background that I'm working on. And I'm working on a piece of cardboard to show you as an example. And I've just gessoed it to create a background. So I'm just going to start by putting some liquid matte medium down, and then hopefully I only have one layer. I'm just going to scatter these randomly on the surface, alternating between the two sizes. And I used plain paper in a bright yellow. I find that this works best with thinner papers rather than, say, cardstock or something heavier. Magazine pages work really well, so you can get some extra mileage out of your old magazines by just finding blocks of color, or even sometimes text pages from magazines will work, but definitely thinner rather than thicker. So I'm not worried about filling up the space or making this really symmetrical, although it will probably end up being symmetrical because somehow everything I do always ends up being even. Okay, so that's all my pieces. And I'm just going to make sure that they've all got plenty of matte medium to nail them down to the paper or to the background. And I'm going to let these dry and then come back and do another layer on top of something else. So now that this is dry, I'm going to take some sort of golden yellow acrylic and apply it very thinly over the top of this. And now, instead of a plain yellow background, I have a yellow floral background. It's very subtle, but it does add a pattern to an otherwise plain background. Now, if I want to keep going with this, I could punch another layer of flowers in another color and apply them. So I'm going to go and do that and come back and show you what happens next. So now I've applied a second layer of flowers in white. I cut them out of just white, cheap copy paper and applied them with liquid matte medium just like the first layer. And you can see that some of them have either gone down in an area where the paint wasn't quite dry yet, or I had a little paint on my sponge, and they've already started to turn a very pale yellow. So the matte medium is still a little damp, and I'm just going to go ahead and layer over another coat of paint. So it's very thin. It's sort of diluted by the matte medium that's still damp. And now I have a floral print background that's very subtle. And I could maybe punch this up a little bit by dragging another color over the top of it. or applying a glaze over the top of it. But I think I'm just going to leave this the way it is for now. For those of you who are really shy about patterned backgrounds, this is a great technique to use because you really are only getting the color of your paint.